So you have King David who stole Uriah's wife. He sends the soldier off to die so he could steal his wife. And then you think it's just some, one night stand, some sort of a little adultery on the side. No, it turns out that this Uriah's wife turns out Bathsheba or something, Bathsheba, like one of the most important wives of David, and they're going to have a whole bunch of kids, and who's going to be the one who carries his lineage on. They gave the soldier, I guess, a chance to stay with his wife. Are you sure you don't want to spend the night with your wife just for tonight? Okay, guess, And he said, because of the brotherhood of troops. No, my brothers need me out in the field. So the general did what King David said, sent Uriah out to the front. He dies, and then David steals his wife. King David, everybody. King David. I don't like to be lied to. So when they lied to me in Genesis, the first chapter, the first Genesis 1 through 11, just fucking bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. And even all the rest of it, I'm just reading some of Mark. And the book of Mark, there's some bullshit in it too. They cannot help themselves. Just pack in a bunch of bullshit. Well, it was written down, so clearly it must have happened. Because it was written down? Are you fucking stupid? How stupid are you? Adam and Eve, oh, okay, yeah, he lived to be 930 years of age, huh? 930 years of age. And Noah, he lived to be 600. Abraham, he lived to be about 17,000 years. And then Jacob, he's going to die at 147 years young. Wow, you only look like you're 137. 147, don't he look good for 147? It's hard for me to believe that the Bible has to do with morals and ethics and maybe laws. Genesis is really fucked because maybe that's what Exodus is, right? So Genesis is fucked. You got Jacob's children all over the place, right? The 12 tribes of Israel comes from Jacob knocking everybody up. So Jacob was the Herschel Walker of his time. He had one wife, Leah, another wife, Rachel, or some other wife, and then the slaves. Rachel and Leah both had slaves, and he had children with them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 sons of Jacob are the 12 tribes of Israel. But bullshit in the very beginning, Adam and Eve, motherfucking Noah, Cain and Abel, Noah and the ark, the flood. That's Gilgamesh, Tower of Babel. Only the dumbest motherfucker in the world. And then George Carlin said that's all it takes. Once you swallow that lie, well, you'll just believe whatever the hell anybody tells you. Yep. Yeah, no, we're not an empire. What, 900 military bases in 150 countries? The cops always do what they're supposed to do. We live in a functioning democracy ruled by the people. Aren't we supposed to be the city on the hill? So we got to get it right. As much as you motherfuckers want to live in your fairy tale lands, we have the gift of a republic if we can keep it. So for the republic, we need to treat each other better. Jacob and Esau, Jacob, I think it means deceiver, and he is deceptive. He steals Esau's birthright 2 times. He don't just steal it once, he's got to do it freaking twice. And what the hell's the birthright? Like his inheritance? A blessing. I will give you my blessing. I like you the best. Or you're the one that carries on with the land and all the thing, or what the hell? I don't understand. I like Otto von Bismarck's land reform. Instead of just picking one of your favorites, why not just split it evenly? You got 100 acres and you got 10 kids. That's 10 acres per kid. They'll all be equal. They'll be side by side. That'd be a nice community. I bet you they'll produce so much shit. Or we could just have one tyrant telling a bunch of everybody else what, and then it not being as productive. Dividing 100 acres to 10 acres apiece. Watch how every single inch is used, if not for raising fruits and vegetables and raising meat. Jacob and Esau. So Esau's the firstborn. So traditionally, I guess the birthright, the blessing, whatever the hell that is, goes to the firstborn. Jacob, however, is the mother's favorite, I think, Rebekah. And so Rebekah is actually, she is sinister. She is sinister as shit. Esau, I guess, is more of a man's man. He's always out in the field and hunting and shit. But Jacob's just kind of hanging out about the house, just kind of being a homebody, just hanging out with a old mama's boy. So the first time Esau comes back in, he's starving, and Jacob is like, well, I got this, this papoose. I got this porridge. I got this pottage. I think they call it pottage. I got this cabbage. I got this cabbage stew. This stinky ass shoe. If you want a piece of this stinky ass shoe, he's hungry. Esau's just like, God, I've been working all day. I've been trying to hunt. I haven't been able to find nothing. Jacob's got this stew on the grill. So Jacob says, all right, Esau, I'll let you have some of my stew, my steak stew, but you got to give me your birthright. Just give me your inheritance. Give me your blessing. Make me the firstborn. They were actually twins, and Esau comes out first, and Jacob, apparently they said that he had his hand on Esau's heel, which it all sounds like bullshit. They're just trying to cover up for the fucking shittiness of Jacob. This is a book of morality. This is the book of ethics. Now, the only thing that you can say with Genesis, because, the story of Abraham and Jacob and Isaac and Lot, that disgusting fuck. Oh, Lot is like a distant cousin, but still. Lot, motherfucking, the wife turns into a pillar of salt. They walk away from Sodom and Gomorrah. God says, don't turn around. She turns around, turns into a pillar of salt. Oh, really? Because that's what happens when you disobey God? Is that the point of that story? That sounds to me like Lot. There's a guy named Lot, L-O-T. He did something to her. He turned her into a pillar of salt. No, probably just, took a dagger and... Don't you look back. I told you not to look back. I told you never to look back. How dare you? And you're going to blame God for that? So Lot probably is a murderer, right? Probably killed his wife. And then later on in the story, you're going to hear how his daughters had got him drunk. And they did it because they needed to carry on with the lineage, to protect the bloodlines. And they made it sound like it was in the name of God. This crime against humanity, this disgusting, perverted, oppressor, molester, fastest son of this Nozo Chomo, a crime against humanity and decency. Lot is not a good fucking guy. Jacob is not a good fucking guy. Jacob deceived Esau. Not only once, but twice. When he's old, this is the fucking man. Jacob, let's see, Isaac? Or is it Abraham? It's probably Isaac, right? And then Abraham and Isaac. Isaac came from Abraham, and then Abraham came from Terah. We don't even talk about Terah. Terah is the common man. So this great Abraham figure came from a guy named Terah, who's known as a common man. Yet we consider Abraham the patriarch when Terah was the father of Abraham. Why don't we call Terah the patriarch? I like that idea. The common man gave birth to all of these other common men. The only way you can understand Genesis, not as a book of morals and ethics, but man, shit's fucked and shit. You gotta, whatever, protect your bloodlines, your family, whatever, however you can. You gotta get yours, however, you gotta fuck them before they fuck you over. That's what it sounds like Genesis is all about to me. And then you have Exodus, which is the second book, and that's Moses, and that's when you get the Ten Commandments, and then, leading the liberation, right? Leading them out of Egypt and wandering around the desert for 40 years. The liberation. And then Moses says, you guys have been, Jacob is sleeping, you keep sleeping with each other's wives, you keep on being just awful people, just awful. Moses is like, now you're worshiping the golden calf. Okay, y'all need some rules. Here's 10 commandments. And I like 2 of the 10 commandments, maybe 3. The rest is shit. But it is nice and simple. Here's 10, right? The same amount of digits that we have. Bing, bam, boom, 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 boom. So Lot is like a distant cousin of Jacob and Isaac. I want to say maybe Abraham's brother or some shit. Terah's son. Jacob stated, let's see, he stole Esau's birthright over the stew. Then he stole Esau's blessing from Isaac. Oh, I was talking about Abraham. God told Abraham to kill Isaac. Abraham takes Isaac up the mountain. This is when he was a kid. And then God says, psych! Just kidding. Right as Abraham's about to kill him. So, I mean, if you're goddamn Isaac, how the fuck do you feel? Man, you about fucking murder me because of the voices in your head? You're a fucked up piece of shit. And if the voices in your head are telling you to murder your children, tell that voice, no, that is not a good voice. That's there. You got the conscience, you got the angel and the devil. That's the devil speaking. Little house on the prairie, she ran off into the wilderness because she had thought a bad thought. Just for thinking a bad thought, you felt so... I thought a bad thought. I shouldn't have thought a bad thought, but I did. And I feel so bad. The second time Jacob steals Esau's blessing is, I want to say Isaac is old man, and he can't see, and he's like, come closer, my son. Isaac is old and shit, and apparently Esau always had this kind of perfume that he wore. But Jacob was pretending to be Esau, put on Esau's perfume. And so the old man at the end of the night is like, come closer, my son. And then Jacob is like disguising his voice, wearing the perfume, and is like, Papa, you said I get the blessing, right? I get the blessing. You're about to die. You got to get the blessing to me. You got to say it out loud. You got to say it to God or it doesn't work or something. So Isaac is like squinting. Is that you, Esau? Okay, Esau. I'll give you the blessing, Esau. Jacob's like, haha, laughing the whole time. And then he gives a blessing, and then Jacob leaves, and then Esau comes in, and then Isaac goes, what have I done? He just took your blessing. And then Esau's all pissed off, and he's got this revengeful fucking jealous rage. And then Rebekah sends Jacob off to faraway lands. She don't want Jacob to marry some shitty Canaanite or some shitty Hittite, one of the daughters of Heth. So Rebekah sends Jacob off to her father's lands to find a wife. Because like I said, Rebekah just hated them fucking Hittite sons of bitches. Don't you dare ever marry a goddamn Hittite. Who's that? The daughters of Heth? Is Heth a bad guy? The worst of the worst. You know, if you ever mixed a white trash piece of crap with a skank, that's a Hittite. That's a Hittite. A white trash skank. Adam and Eve. God is pretty arbitrary and cruel and draconian and tyrannical and fucking ridiculous, frankly. God damn it, you motherfuckers. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. And then everybody, Adam and Eve is born and then has a bunch of people, but then they're all evil, right? Because Noah comes along with the ark and then God just kills everybody. But Noah's son has Ham. Noah had a son named Ham, and then Ham comes in and sees Noah naked. And then, you know, right back again, you're back in the Adam and Eve in the garden being, you know, the nakedness, the shame of nakedness. What? What did you do? And I think it's just, he saw his father naked, which he wasn't supposed to do. And so now you're back to being an awful, sinful, terrible people. And then we're not going to, back in Exodus, in the beginning of Exodus, it says that there was a shit ton of families and that they're all doing well. So they do return back to the Garden of Eden in Exodus. So it's not even like, it's all bullshit. The first 11 chapters just makes me not believe any of it until King David. I believe King David and Saul and Solomon were historical figures. Moses, Abraham. I just don't know, why would you write so many pages, so many names? Why would you adhere to it like it's the word of God, like it's truthful, and then they keep passing it down, you know, over and over again? It's just hard to think that just so many damn pages, eventually, like somewhere in Psalms or Job or Judith, maybe Tobit. What's going on in Tobit? Maybe Nehemiah. Maybe the book of Nehemiah has some truth in it. We're talking about the Levites and Yeshua, son of Azaniah, being not descendants of Henadad, Cadmiel. So this is just a bunch of kind of ethical stories. Because if you read a story from, let's say, Aesop's fable, the ant and the grasshopper. The ant worked all spring and summer. So the ant had plenty of, food in the wintertime, but the grasshopper just was playing around. And the motto was, if you're dancing in the summertime, then you'll be singing in the winter. Because when it was wintertime, then it was like, oh my God, I'm cold. Somebody help, please help. And so if all you want to do is dance in the spring and the summertime, then you're going to be singing in the winter because you're going to be freezing. And we don't need grasshoppers. We need ants, the hard workers, people that are self-sustaining. You didn't work for yourself, and now you're going and trying to rob your the people that did get a job and the people that did work, diligently, collecting just one little, just a tiny bit here and there, and then eventually was able to amass, a little bit to be able to survive through the 3-month winter. Who the fuck wants a bunch of goddamn Gillis Day Rays in their fucking neighborhood? Bunch of thieving ass fucking criminal fucks. That's no good. That's no good. So I hate the chapter 1 so much that I just, no Moses, no Abraham. Like, no, of course, Adam and Eve. Oh, Adam lived to be 930 years old. Hey, Harry. I had a distant uncle named Harry. He lived to be 927, so he almost lived to be as old as Adam. And then God wiped everybody out. How the fuck do we even know Adam lived to be 930? God killed everybody. Noah's, what? You had Adam and Eve, chapter 1, Cain and Abel, chapter 2. Noah's like chapter 4, chapter 5. It's like, shit, we just got to know Adam and Eve's family. And now all the families are dead. Noah's, I guess, is maybe of Adam's, right? But, sounds like bullshit to me. And then Adam and Eve, it's so clear as day. Don't you eat that apple from that tree of knowledge. You don't want us to know stuff correct. Well, it's the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? I'm going to interpret it because I'm the priest. I'm the Jewish priest, and I'm going to interpret good and evil. And if you take the bite of the apple, if you read the Bible for yourself and start thinking about what is good and what is bad, well, you won't just, regurgitate the diarrhea that is spewing out of my mouth. Rebekah sends Jacob off. So what the fuck? Esau's pissed off. He's going to come after you. Go out, find a wife out there. Don't you dare marry a Hittite. So she's like racist against the Hittites, fucking over Esau. And then Esau, poor Esau, he wants to, oh, is that what you and Papa, Isaac and Rebekah, you and Papa wanted me to go over there? And then he goes and marries like somebody over there, but not really the Ishmael. He married somebody from the Ishmael family, which apparently, I don't know why we're looking down on Ishmael. We should look down on Lot. Who the fuck came out of Lot's lot? Whoever come out of Lot's lot is going to be some wicked, sick, fucking deformed, mutated, evil, wicked, perverted sons of bitches. So I don't like chapter 1. I don't like chapter 1 of most history books, really. America, Kentucky. It's like they skip chapter 1 to talk about the nation or something. They skip chapter 1 to... That's the dawn of man. God farted and there was a big old bang. That's what the Big Bang was. The Big Bang, I don't totally understand it, but it makes more sense than God farted a Big Bang. Abraham denies that he's married to Sarah twice. Oh, I'm not married to her. Her? No, I'm not married to her. No, I would never be married to her. Like a good man. Like Peter denying Jesus. All the disciples are going to deny Jesus. Every single one turned their back on Jesus. They all liked him and his minister and what they were saying when he was alive, but then when he was condemned to die, then they all... Jesus? Jesus the Christ? Never heard of him. Jesus H. Christ? H being Hoobastank? No. No, I don't know no Jesus Hoobastank Christ. And then Abraham says, oh, Sarah's, and then she was barren, and they said, okay, why don't you sleep with the slave? I don't think, Hannah or something? And then he has a whole nother set of children going that way. And then eventually Sarah is able to give birth. So, what the fuck? Stories of morals and ethics? Family values? You want to talk about family values? Jacob wrestles with God, which, what the fuck? Jacob goes back, and then he comes back with 12 sons and a bunch of sheep and a whole bunch of stuff. And when he comes back to Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob meets up with God, and they just start fighting and wrestling. And then apparently, I don't know who renames Jacob Israel, because it does mean deceiver, but now his name is Israel, and Israel means wrestles with God. So Exodus 1, I guess in a way, they have plenty. Big families, lots of land, lots of sheep. They have their new Garden of Eden. So in a way, I guess, if you would just want to take it as an allegory, at the beginning, when you're starting out, man, shit is rough. People are fucking crazy. You got to do what it takes. You got to trick your whatever, out of their birthright and run off to the faraway lands. And if you have to steal Uriah's wife by sending, that's not good. Supporting the troops. Support the troops by sending one of the troops out in the front to get him shot so you could take his wife. That's a terrible king. That's a terrible general. I always say generals are best out in the field with their troops, but this general is at the house banging all the damn troops' wives. And then Jacob, he's sitting there sleeping with everybody. Both of the wives and their slaves. And then the book of Tabit and Ben Shira 7:6, Baruch, Nahum. Jacob has 4 wives, but he only loves Rachel. Rachel is his favorite. He loves Rachel. And is the Pharaoh black? The Big Bang makes more sense than God farting. I'm just